Every house, you're going to learn something different, right? Every inspection is going to have something. You do learn things on every deal because construction is, different on every house. I like the excitement of finding a house for people. I love finding what they want. I like going searching for it. I like when I get a listing, I like making it pretty. I like the touching and feeling, the tactileness of real estate.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Glennda Baker. I'm a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am so excited today to introduce you to my friend, Gianna Cerullo, out of Dallas, Texas. She is an amazing agent with Compass, and I am so excited to talk to her and her unusual journey into real estate and through real estate. She is not your typical real estate agent, and I can't wait for you guys to find out a little bit more about Gianna. Gianna, welcome so much to Glenda's Guru.
Hi, Glenda. So nice to be here. I'm so excited.
Well, I'm excited to meet you. I'm going to be in Dallas in a couple of months. So I hope I'm going to have the opportunity to sit down with you, hug your neck, have some coffee, and see some of your beautiful listings.
Perfect. That'd be great.
So for my followers, my audience who may not know you, are you from Dallas? Have you always lived in Dallas?
No, I am from Buffalo, New York. So I grew up in Buffalo. I moved to Dallas in I'm going to date myself, 83.
Oh,
I know. I moved here.
What took you to Dallas?
My mom lived in Dallas. And so I would always visit my mom over the summers. And I knew once I graduated from high school that I was leaving Buffalo and going to live in Dallas.
Wow. Buffalo to Dallas. That's a big change.
It's a big jump in many ways, in weather and from, you couldn't be more blue collar Buffalo and then, move to the most bougie city that there is, which is Dallas.
Well, I love Dallas. I love Dallas because they're full of stars. I mean, I can do shopping in Dallas like you cannot even believe. In fact, I probably should have worn a different top today because yesterday I wore a top that was very Dallas cowboy-ish.
Yes.
So back to my original audience, back to my original question. For my audience who doesn't know about you and your real estate business, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I started actually in fashion. So I worked for Neiman Marcus, then a small boutique. Then I opened my own boutique. Then I went to a luxury boutique, then back to Neiman Marcus, then into real estate. So I kind of was more on the fashion end and then transitioned into real estate when I was, I think, 42. So I started all over at 42.
What got you into real estate at 42? What were you? You were like, oh, I'm going to go be a real estate agent? Like,
no, not really. Just a circumstance that happened with my fashion career, and so many people were telling me, you should be a real estate agent. You would be better, you'd make more money at real estate. You should be in real estate. And I was reluctant because I had some real estate agent clients in the fashion. And I was like, no, I don't want to be that ever. Like, that's not my jam. But a gentleman friend of mine was like, gee, you have to get your license. So I did that. And then I went into real estate and I don't know, it was weird. You could parlay the same people from fashion into real estate. And it was I don't want to say easy, but I didn't feel uncomfortable. Like it was the same, you know what I mean? Luxury houses and expensive clothes. It just was a very seamless transition for me. Now, I didn't get business, right? Like I wasn't selling houses day one. I don't think I sold a house until my 10th month in real estate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I did not, I mean, all I did was sit in 2 open houses every weekend and, learn like how to greet people at an open house, which was very similar to to retail shopping. I
Right.
did that, and then I managed to sell, yeah, a house for $3.2 million was the first sale I ever had in Highland Park.
Okay, so sit down. So our lives mirror each other a little bit. So believe it or not, back in the day, I used to model for Neiman Marcus here in Atlanta,
Nice.
and I was one of the girls who, they have these big charity luncheons at the
Oh
store,
yeah.
and I would walk around in an outfit, blah, blah, blah. And then I designed and manufactured ladies' clothing, and I sold to Neiman Marcus for a while. And so I kind of got that in line with you. So I worked in retail for many years. I sold ladies' shoes, not at Neiman Marcus, but at what would be called Macy's today, which was Davidson's back then. And my mom said, "Pumpkin, you need to sell something that's more expensive than shoes because you are really good at selling shoes." And that was kind of how I got into real estate. Was my mom said, "Pumpkin, you need to go be a real estate agent," and I got my license. And very different. My first sale in real estate was $60,000, not 3.2, back in 1992. And so I think about, wow. So we definitely had some parallels in life, being in retail and working with Neiman Marcus. And you're very, very right that selling luxury real estate is you're selling to the same people that you're selling the luxury brand to anyway.
It's true. And I mean, I used to I call it romance clothes, because people don't, like, at that level, you don't need an extra shirt, right? Like, you don't need anything. But I used to make up, like when you go to dinner at whatever, or if you're going to the Derby, or if you're going to somebody's box, I just make up stories about whatever the outfit was that would make them see themselves, and they'd go, yeah, I need that for that, even though it might never happen. But
Yeah.
but a house is the same way, right? You just romance a house in a way that people can see themselves, envision themselves in that property. I
That's
mean,
so true.
but
Now,
it's great words. I feel like I learned so many words in fashion, that helped me in real estate.
yeah, absolutely. You learn a lot. You learn a lot in selling retail. To me, I think that selling retail is very difficult um, uh, compared to selling houses, because like it's a house, like you live in it, but like a shirt, like you're right, you can take it or leave it. You're not you don't need it today, but a house, like a lot of times, you need the house today. So let me ask you a question. You mentioned that your friend called you G.
Yeah.
Do a lot of people call you G?
Yes. Most people, I don't know, I don't love it, but everyone just calls me G. So I'm just like, okay, I'm happy with G.
Oh, that's so funny. So a lot of my athlete clients and entertainment musician clients call me G. They don't
Yeah.
call me Glenda. I have one that calls me G Star. So it's always so funny. So every time that he sends me a text message, it's the G and the star. So when again, me and you, we are like
Yes. I get
glitter
G
and
money.
glue. I
I
love
get
it.
G money. I get
G
G
money.
money.
Yeah, I've got G money, G star, G unit. I love it.
Yep.
Nobody realizes that us OGs, that we are gangsters.
True.
I love it. I love it. So you get into real estate. You've been in real estate 10 months. You sell a $3.2 million house in Highland Park. You live in Highland Park?
Now I do. I mean, that was just a dream back then. I mean, owning something back then was a dream, but now I do live in Highland Park. I mean, not in I live in the 4500 block, which is, not the top, but at least I'm there.
Is it the Oaks? What is the, isn't there, what's the fancy, the top? top
Well, it's
level.
Highland Park is the top neighborhood, I would say. Highland Park, University Park
Yeah.
is the top. But
Yeah.
it's the blocks that you live in that kind of designate the hierarchy.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. So you get into real estate. Did you start with Compass or you were with another company or?
No, Compass wasn't around. I mean, I started with a very small brokerage that only had 5 people in it. But the woman who was the head of my brokerage, she was a rock star. I mean, a superstar. I attribute like a lot of my success to being around her. She was amazing. Like, I hadn't, you have nothing to do, right? When you first start, you don't have any listings, you have nothing. And I would ask her all the time, can I go with you? Can I come with you? And she would let me come. I came on her listing appointments. She would let me come to on showings. Anytime I had nothing to do, which was 90% of the time, I would just tag along with her and I would listen and just listen to everything she said. And I like some things I'd be like, yeah, I'm never saying that. And then other things I'd be like, okay, I'll adapt that. But she was the Martha Stewart of real estate. Like she had that just, she could do anything. She was great. I'm like blessed that I started with her somewhere very small and very hands on. And I mean, she would let me sit. She had so many listings. I could sit in 2 open houses, on a Sunday, 1 to 3, 3 to 5. And I religiously, I did that every weekend. It was not like fun, but I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the best of it. And I
Yeah.
ended up selling one of the houses I sat in. So that was great.
Yeah, and you're cutting your teeth. Like you're
Yeah.
right. You don't have anything else to do. Again, very similar. There was a girl in my office, Marie Park. She was the number one agent in my office. She was the number one agent in Atlanta. And I moved my cubicle to sit right outside of her door. And I just listened. I listened how she talked to agents. I listened how she talked to clients. I listened like how she talked to herself. And I learned so much when if she needed something dropped off or a sign or a lockbox or a flyer or anything, like I was her gopher. I was her unpaid assistant because for me, like I didn't have anything else to do. I just wanted to learn. And it's so cool that, when you talk about, oh, I did an open house 1 to 3, 3 to 5. I remember when I was first starting and I fell into this little neighborhood up in Alpharetta, I started getting a bunch of listings in there. And no lie, I had so many listings and everybody wanted me to do an open house. I would do Saturday 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. And I did that Saturday and Sunday. And then when Elizabeth started working with me, the both of us would run and we would run through the neighborhood, moving our balloons and moving our signs. And I mean, I think about that and like I don't know about you. I don't see people doing that these days. Like,
No, I love an open house. I did one on a listing that just closed, and people came in and they're like, "You're Gianna," and I'm like, "Well, yeah. Who should be at my open house but me, right? Like, why wouldn't I be here?" And they're like, "Okay." I mean, it's just like people are shocked. I'm like, "But it's the best." I picked up a buyer actually off that open house, but it's the best way to get the temperature of the market, right? What people think about your house, your listing, and also to gain clients or just to like know what's going on out there. Cuz I feel like if you're taking a listing, right, you should be representing it. That's what you're telling the seller, right? When you take the listing, you're like, I'm going to sell your house. Well, okay, get your butt out there and sell my
that's
house.
right. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're sitting at your office eating bonbons. I love that. So tell me, so like what like what's the biggest house you've sold? Everything's bigger in Dallas.
Everything, I sold, and at the time it set a record. It might have still set the record. I sold a $28.5 million estate in Preston Hollow. on 9 acres that actually, I think 4 years, maybe 5 years ago, I sold that house. Um, it was it was a unique transaction. The house, it was a Robert M. Stern house, so very famous architect, right, in New York and all over, very famous. And he did this house in Dallas, and my client wanted to buy it, so he bought it. But I learned more, with every deal, right? You learn something about architecture or building or something. That house taught me a lot. I mean, like a lot. I was on the roof of that house with 15 guys trying to figure out why it was leaking. I have pictures of me on the roof, which was the best, like, view of all of the neighborhood. It was great. I mean, we figured it out, but I mean, it took a village.
Was it a flat roof?
In parts, it was a flat roof, but it had interior gutter system. So, like, no gutters, but which is, sorry, it's not the way to go.
No,
Way to
no,
go.
because you can't see when there's a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and we know this.
Yes.
It's so funny because people will say to me, "But how do you know that, Glennda? How do you know that when the house faces the west, that the life of the windows is going to be shorter than the life of the windows on the back? Like, how do you know that?" And it's like it just comes along with the experience. Like, you've sold so many of them. Yeah, like this faces the west. The front of this house is going to get cooked. You're in Atlanta, Georgia. It's 106 degrees in August, for God's sake. You're
Right.
getting direct west sun. You're going to die. And and on the back of the house, it's completely shaded, and that's going to hold water. And people are like, but how do you you go ahead, ask Chat GPT. It does not know that.
No.
It doesn't know the shade orientation in Atlanta, Georgia on 123 Banana Street. So it's so funny that you say that, because you have to be a student. You have to be curious. I think that when you stop being curious just in general, like, your luster for life just kind of fades.
I agree with that. And I think too, every house, you're going to learn something different, right? Every inspection is going to have something. Hopefully after all these years I've been in real estate, I've seen a lot of things where I can figure out who to call to solve that problem and, what we need to do. But you do learn things on every deal because construction is, different on every house. That's the fun part. Like, actually, people hate inspections, and I'm always like, oh no, I like them. I like them because it's a big mess to figure out and to solve. And they scared me. Like, the first inspection I ever got on something I was selling, I was like, oh no, this house is never closing. I don't even know, we're never going to get through this. But it obviously was my first inspection. So the first time you see that, it's just all the problems. But now I'm like, yeah, this is all easy. We can solve this. We can figure this out. It is funny though. They don't teach you that though in real estate school.
No, real estate is on site, not online, and it's not in the classroom. And the thing about it is, and this is what I tell my daughter, works with me now, but when she was going through her real estate class, I was like, just memorize it and just get through it, because in the real world, you're not figuring out anybody's mortgage payment. You're not figuring out the days, how many days to count to get to the taxes. Like, somebody does all that. Like, what you need to know about real estate, you will learn in the streets of real estate. Period. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about, how long have you been doing real estate?
2007.
So 2007. So almost 20 years now.
Yep.
Okay. So 18 years. And so, where do you go in your real estate career? What's next for you? Why are you excited about real estate? What is it that keeps you every single morning, like, getting up, getting after it, curious, looking for the next deal?
I'm a deal junkie. So, like, that's it. Like, that's it. That's all I'm just like, even like when I get something entitled, goes past option, I'm like already on to the next, right? Like it can close in 10 days and I'm off. I just like I like the excitement of finding a house for people. I love finding what they want. I like going searching for it. I like when I get a listing, I like making it pretty. I like all the things about real estate. I enjoy them. I don't have a team. I'm not into that. I'm not into like managing people or anything like that. I like the touching and feeling, the tactileness of real estate. So a new house, I like working with builders. I like all the parts of it except for I could never manage people.
What's the day and month and day of your birthday?
December 13th.
It is not.
Yeah.
That's my birthday.
Well, because Sagittarius that's who we are. We are like the jack of all.
I was like, damn, she sounds so much like
We're the jack of all trades, the kind of the master of none, because we don't want to be. We like to run around and do lots of fun things and accomplish them and go, okay, boom, on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. Me, you, and Taylor.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about
If
that.
I could just find me a 6'6" boyfriend, I mean, my goodness, we'd be in good shape. Okay, sorry, I digress there. So no, when I was like, I was literally sitting here thinking, she has to be a Sagittarius. I was like, with all of this, oh my God. And then when you said your birthday, I was like, seriously, that's awesome. Okay. So what's next for you? Like where are you going? What are you doing? Like, what are you excited about?
In real estate or life? I'm going to Africa.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm reading a romance novel and they're in Africa. They're in Kenya. So what are you doing in Africa?
I guess I'm just going to go. Well, I have to carry a bag that's only 44 pounds. So what am I? I'm stressed out. I'm stressed out.
Oh my, I know.
I know. I'm like, what did you say? He was like 44 pounds and it has to be like a duffel bag. I was like, okay, I can do this. I was in fashion. I can do this. I can do it. Like, I don't know. Right now, I'm closing out, like in Dallas, everybody leaves, right? I'm sure same in Georgia.
Absolutely.
Everybody leaves for the summer. So I'm closing out a few deals and then kind of reloading for fall, kind of trying to figure out what am I going to list in the fall, what's going on, with that. I think that's playing a little tennis, playing a lot of tennis.
How long are you going to be in Kenya?
12 days I'm going to be in Africa. I'm going to Botswana, Tanzania, and like 3 other places. So flying, like, I guess we fly around in like a little plane from camp to camp. I don't know. You would think I would be more well versed on what's happening, and I'm not, because I just know it'll be good.
Yeah, I started to say I wouldn't expect you to be more well versed because you don't really care. Somebody's going to wind you up and push you out and get you where you're supposed to be, and you don't need to worry about that. And in the worst case scenario, somebody doesn't do that, you'll ask somebody where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm good at figuring it.
We always figure it out. I love that. Right. I love that. So do you have a coach? Do you like how do you
I used to have a business coach in real estate, and I don't anymore. I've gone through, so I did the whole Tony Robbins thing, which because I did Tony Robbins when I was like 18, when he was selling those videos. I was all into I've been into all of that forever. So I did all Tony Robbins, and I had a Tony Robbins coach. Then I had a Tom Ferry coach. And then I kind of went rogue and I had Ed Milet for a year. And I love Ed. And then from Ed, I've kind of just figured out like who I am and kind of what I need to do to, keep my career going. But then also if I want to do something else, I've kind of used Ed's things to kind of put me in a different direction for another part of my life. That'll be I guess it'll be what, my third chapter? My third chapter. If real estate's my second chapter, then I guess the next one will be my third. The first chapter was definitely fashion for like 20, 22 years. And I still personal shop for 3 people that wouldn't let me stop.
Really?
Yeah. But it's fun, right? It's like, it's
Yeah.
fun. I spent
You
yesterday.
get to go buy great clothes with somebody else's money.
Exactly. I spent 3 hours, no joke, yesterday with a client of mine's daughter who's going to work in finance for her new career. And we bought her all finance. It was fun. And I remember this little girl when she was 5 years old. So, it's such a seeing them through the years. But I had a great time. It was fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, so what's the craziest thing you've seen in real estate?
I mean, crazy. I don't know if it's crazy. I've had an agent hide in a closet that, okay, yeah, this is so. I have a client that didn't want anyone to know him or see him, right? And so we were showing this agent's listing, and I was like, hey, like, you can't be there. I mean, here's who it is, but he doesn't want to be seen, right? Like, and doesn't want you following us around. And I get it. For her seller's perspective, she sort of maybe needed to be at the property or something. I have no idea. But what I didn't know is she hid in the closet the whole time we were showing the house. Like,
And
no joke.
how did you find out she was in the closet?
Well, when my client, because he met me there, right? I didn't drive him. When he finally got out of the gate and the gate shut, I was going to, turn off all the lights and do all the things, and then I was going to text her and say, hey, we're done. Well, she jumped out, well, not jumped, but she came out of the closet. I mean, I almost died. That was unique. I was like, what? Have you been there the whole time? And she's like, well, yeah. That's a little insane.
That is so bizarre.
It was very creepy.
Wow. Holy cow. Like,
I know.
what would have happened if your buyer
If we would have opened the closet. I know. I know. Thank God we didn't open that closet. It was that I have no idea what, but yeah, interesting.
Well, you know what? I just look at it this way. There's always a story in real estate.
Oh my God. I have a million that aren't so good, but I mean, scary. But yeah, there's always some unique situation happening because you're dealing with people.
Yeah, exactly. And you're dealing with people on what is usually their single largest asset. And so, I mean, it's very interesting. It always,
or, too, right? When you deal with people that have a lot of money, the first thing I learned was just from my retail, they don't hear the word no, right? Like, it's, let me see if I can get that for you. Sure. Let me get back to you with that. Like, whatever. So they don't hear no. And then the person who's buying their house, right, at that level, they don't hear no. So and I remember having this conversation with a very difficult seller I had. I'm like, hey, look, I know no one tells you no. I said, but guess what? The guy who's buying your house, no one's telling him no either. So if we want to win, right, you got to stop being that guy. Just knock it off for this transaction. Like, stop it, and we'll get you your money and you can move on down the road. But if you're not going to stop being the guy that no one tells no to, you're not going to get this done. And he just looked at me like I had two heads. But I was like, okay, somebody's got to tell you. Stop being an ass.
yeah.
Knock it off.
You're so right, though. I have a friend and they were under contract to buy, a property that was tens of millions of dollars. And the buyer did not like the way that the seller negotiated with them throughout the transaction.
Yeah.
And so the buyer knew that the seller was actually needed to sell property one to get to property two. And so that the buyer, 4 days before closing, said, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to close. And their agent was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're going to lose your earnest money deposit. And she's like, yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to close. And they were like, why are you not going to close? And she was like, I didn't like the way he negotiated with me. And so the seller actually picked up the phone, called the buyer and said, what do you mean you're not going to close? You're going to lose your earnest money. She's like, that's fine. You keep my however many millions of dollars of earnest money. She goes, because you can't buy that other property without selling this one. And so I've got news for you. I want that. And it was a $4 million negotiation that she was not happy about. She goes, I want that $4 million back. And if I get that $4 million back, I'll close. And sure enough, she closed. He brought the price down $4 million. She ended up closing on the property. He ended up closing on property number 2. But I thought to myself, what a set of cojones that she had. She's 4 days before closing. She's like, yeah, I'm not going to close. And I mean, who knows if she was bluffing or not, but I always just think about on what planet do you live that you can just say, yeah, I'm prepared to lose $1 zillion in earnest money because I just didn't like the way that you treated me.
I mean, good for her, but it happens, right? Like people at the last minute do crazy. I've had on that big transaction, that buyer almost at the last minute was, just having, pulling like little antics here and there. And I'm the one who always gets everybody back in line. I feel like it's like, if anyone asks me what's my strong suit in real estate, I'm like, well, I'm kind of like, I call people up and I'm like, hey, listen, this is how you need, do you want this or not? Like, I have the ability, I think, to talk to people probably not as sweetly as most people would. And I'm just a little bit more of a reality check for people, but it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm like, okay, well, if we all want to cross the finish line, someone's going to have the tough conversations. I think that's too what they don't teach you in real estate. You're going to have hard conversations a lot. Like get comfortable with having hard conversations. Yeah. And if you're not comfortable telling somebody, guess what? Your house needs $20,000 worth of repairs, or guess what? We're going to have to reduce the price, or that person's backing out. You have to be able to have a hard conversation, which it's not easy, but it works. I mean, you have to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Gianna, thank you so much. Thank you for spending some time with me. It has been an absolute delight.
All right. Well, I hope I see you in Dallas.
I will be in Dallas. I think I'm there maybe end of August, towards the end of August. So hopefully you'll be back from your safari.
That's right.
Gearing up for fall.
Yes.
But I'd love to have dinner with you while I'm there. And
perfect.
Again, I will tell you, it has been an interesting episode with you. And thank you so much for spending your time with us this afternoon.
No, thank you.
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Glennda Baker. I'm a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. Today, I had the opportunity to interview Gianna Cerullo in Dallas, Texas. And boy, does she have some stories for you. If you have enjoyed this episode of Glennda's Guru, follow along as we interview industry experts every single week. We can't wait to welcome you back to the next episode of Glennda's Guru. See ya.